Servus and welcome. Today I want to discuss a Wenz with you. This Wenz was played on the first position on the table, so I was the player opening up the first trick round. And first of all, let's have a look at our hand and what cards we got. So, as you remember, in a Wenz there are only 4 trump cards, which are the 4 Unters. And in this case we have 3 of these Unters, which is really good. Alongside we have an ace and acorns, also really good in events. However, then we kind of lack good cards or the strongest cards. However, I guess this is a good example to show to you why you don't actually need the top cards or the aces in a suit, and why this can also work out to play events. So the remaining cards are 3 leaf cards, where we have the 10 as the highest card and 1 bells card. So what is the approach to win this Wenz? So the idea now is we open up with an Unter to draw out the last remaining Unter in leaves, so no Unter is remaining at the table. And then we try to remove the ace in leaves by drawing it out with a low leaves card. And after that we only have 2 cards which show a threat to us, which is the other low leaf cards and the low cards in bells. So let's see how it plays out. First trick is starting, and as I said, I'm playing the Unter in acorns, the highest Unter, which will draw out the last Unter, which is the Unter in leaves. So let's review the trick. From the left hand side there is a bells card, from the top side an acorns card, both with no points giving to this trick. And on the right hand side the player had the last Unter, which was good for us. So 4 points already for us, and we have seen that of course the other opponents which didn't have the Unter didn't give us any points. So as I said, now I'm opening up with the low leaf cards. The idea behind this low leaf cards is that we draw out the high leaf cards for the other players. Especially the ace of leaves, because we still have the 10 in leaves, and we only can make a trick with the 10 in leaves if the ace in leaves is gone. So this is the idea behind this low leaf play. As you can see, the player to the left hand side on the table already is free in leaf cards. He doesn't have the suit, so he's free to play any other card he wants to play, which is bad for us, because the distribution in leaf cards then isn't as optimized as we would like to have it. So what's happening here is he's giving 10 points with the 10 of hearts, and the player at the top is taking over this trick with the ace in leaves. So they already have 21 points in this trick, and the player to the right side is also giving the king in leaves into the trick, which is rather good for us. As you can see, there is only 2 leaf cards remaining, which is the Ober and the 9 of leaves. 25 points for the opposing party, and now the player at the top has to open up the next trick round. And he's opening up with a card in hearts. This is also good for us, because as you can see I'm putting up the trick again, and within the last trick there was the 10 of hearts added to the previous trick, as I'm currently seeing on the screen. This means either the player on the left hand side doesn't have a hearts card remaining and now is free to play another card in hearts, can also add points. However, I'm assuming that the player to the left is still having cards in the suit of hearts, and this leaves me open to kind of get wasted on my 8 of bells and to put it in this trick, because I will never ever make a trick or win a trick with the 8 on bells. So this is why I'm putting this card in right now. As you can see, there was the king of hearts from the left side player. Now they have the 25 points from the first trick, as well as in this trick another 15 points, makes a total of 40. The player at top is again opening up with an Ober in hearts. And as we remember, hearts was played already. And there was a card in hearts in the trick before, so there's a total of 4 heart cards already gone. Now the player to the right is putting in an Ober in bells, and there in this trick I made a huge mistake, to be fair, because I thought, well, I gotta need to win this trick over, because my chances are that I'm winning the last remaining tricks altogether, because I thought the leaf card distribution is in my favor. However, let's see how the game is turning out. So I'm winning this trick over with the Unter because this is a trump card, which is higher than a suit card, so this trick is already mine. And now I'm opening up with the 10 in leaves. And the 10 in leaves, of course, is the highest card in leaves, so I will win this trick every day. However, as you can see here, there's still one leaves card remaining, which is the Ober in leaves. And this is not good for me. So of course I'm now switching suits, putting down the ace, because this ace will always win a trick. And as you can see here, from the top player I won this 10 in acorns, which gave me plenty of points. But now I'm kind of lost, because I know one trick will go to the opponents, because they are aware as well that I will have the remaining leaves cards, so they will keep them. And the one trick with the Unter I will win any other day. So I will put down the last card in leaves, and I was lucky that the left-hand player didn't have further points beyond the king. Because as you can see here, they now can gain the 10, the king and the Ober, where the 10 is of course 10 points, the king is 4 points and the Ober is 3 points, which is a total of 17. And 17 together with their previous points, which was 40, is 57 in total. And with 57 in total, they of course didn't win the game. So as I said, I was lucky because this ace here, which was now put on the table, was not at the left hand side of the table, or to the left player. Otherwise I would have lost the Wenz, because I was stupid and didn't put the 8 of leaves into this last trick round, which was opened up with the Ober in hearts. So always be aware how much points are already at the table. Be aware how much points your opponents have at this moment. And be aware which cards are remaining. And don't assume, of course, the worst distribution, as it was here for me, because the cards were distributed the worst way which could happen to me. But still, think about what would happen if it was the worst distribution, and if you could benefit from a current situation, which was this play with the Ober of hearts, where I could just dispose my 8 of leaves, which would give them at most also 17 points if it was the Ober and then the ace in bells in this trick, which would have left them at 57. However, this was the most they could get in this trick, and with the trick we have seen previously, where I put down the 8 of leaves, there was a chance that they can gain more than 17 points, or at least more than 20 points. And if this would have happened, then I would have lost the game. So, as you can see, I have won the Wenz with a total of 63 points. And I could have won it even better with a total of, I guess it was 74 points. But as you've seen, I have also made a play mistake. And this can also happen to those which have quite the idea how the game works. So don't be shy to play such a Wenz, and also reflect on the cards which we had at the start. Those weren't the best cards for a Wenz in total, but still they provided the option to play a Wenz. So this is just to give you some insights what you should look out for, and that the Wenz sometimes hides in plain sight, so to speak, and people don't think about that this would be working out. So if you have any questions about this game or about Schafkopf in general, leave a comment down below, and I'll hear you in the next video.